Welcome. My name is Tanya. Appreciate you all being here, and we are going to start in a seat. We're going to take a 60-minute flow practice today, which really uses the breath as an anchor. So we're really going to target stepping into movement with breath. And of course, in our vinyasa practices, which ultimately means flow, we are moving breath for movement, breath for movement. But I really want you to pay attention to the way the breath comes and goes and the fluidity of the breath as a way to move us seamlessly through the practice. And we're really using the breath, as a way to stay fully present. It's so easy to get distracted, and it's so easy to get pulled into dialogue and conversations and drama. And I want you to stay as drama-free and as present and as open-hearted and as still by anchoring into your breath for your practice as possible. So we're going to start in a little meditation just to start finding the rhythm of the breath. I'm not going to count for you in this breath. I want you to find whatever breath rhythm is working best for you. So find a comfortable seat, sit bones elevated on a block or a bolster. I really want you to find some elevation in your spine. You have this energetic pathway, our life force that runs up and down our spine. And if we collapse our heart and we lose our power center, the energy just kind of gets stuck. It's a little bit like having a hose and kinking it, and then the water can't flow through. So to create as much space as possible in the spine so that we can have breath and prana, this invisible life force that moves through us, we need to have a beautiful long spine. So let's get started. Closing down your eyes, giving yourself whatever little niggles and adjustments you need to find that space that feels really comfortable for you, but also has a level of intention and integrity. And then just use these first few moments to find stillness. And then when you find that stillness, gift yourself the awareness of your breath. And notice, even as you find stillness in your seat, you're never completely still. I can feel my heart beating in my chest, and I can feel my left shoulder very subtly moving under the beat of my heart. Of course, there is the rhythm of the body moving to the breath. I can literally feel swirls of energy like a river rushing through my body. This invisible life force that we can't quite take a hold of in our hands, but it's still there. This constant rhythm, moving and flowing in and out, ebbing and flowing. It never ceases to flow until, of course, it stops. So seeing if you can tune into those subtle vibrations, that pranic layer, that pranic energy that is flowing through your body, even when the body is really grounded and stable and still. And it's okay if you can't feel it, if you're relatively new to the practice, or you really live with an incredibly busy and vibrant mind. It can be really hard to start to slow the mind and quiet the mind to tune into this subtle vibration of prana, of life force. So having compassion for yourself, no need to judge what's happening for you, to just be open to the possibility. And then perhaps the body has started to soften in the seat. Maybe your shoulders have started to fall down a little bit, your belly has started to soften and collapse. Just take a moment to, on your next breath in, find integrity in the spine again. Shoulders drawing down the back of the body, heart proud, chin slightly drawn in to lengthen out through the back of the neck. A slight engagement through the lower abdomen and the pelvic floor. And then start to control the breath a little bit. See if you can stretch it out as you breathe in. Perhaps you can breathe in just a little bit longer. Maybe breathe in a little bit fuller. Maybe the ribs can expand a little more, the belly balloon a little bigger. And as you breathe out, start to follow the breath. This intention of the breath of really anchoring you in your seat. Feel the sit bones grounded down on the earth. Feel the softness in the shoulders melting down the back of the body. And then using that foundation, that stable, solid connection to the earth, to then expand and fill up on the breath in. You are going to count your own 10 breaths. A little trick, a little hint. Often when I'm instructing and teaching and needing to count, I will just focus on my fingertips. And I traverse across my fingertips, pinky finger, ring finger, middle finger, index, thumb, and then over to the other hand, each breath as a way to anchor me into the awareness of what count I'm up to. I don't move the fingers or do anything with my hands. It's just keeping my attention on each digit as a way for me to keep count. So I'm just going to hold the space and the silence as you move through those 10 breaths. We're going to take your fingertips and place them on the floor beside you. So right hand down to the earth on the right side, left hand down to the earth on the left, so that just your fingertips are touching the floor. Press into the earth, really lengthen out the spine, find that integrity in the length of spine again. And we're just going to start to create some really gentle rhythm. So you're going to sweep your hands up to the sky, turn the palms over, palms facing the sky. As you breathe in, lifting arms up and overhead to connect at your palm to palm. And as you breathe out, you're going to draw that energy down, palm to palm, hands to heart center for the full length of your exhale. And then sweep your hands back down to the floor. So in breath, palms facing up, arms straight, reaching up the sides. Sweeping the hands to connect overhead. Exhale, draw the hands down through the center, palm to palm, landing at heart center, and then separating the hands to the earth. Allowing the breath to guide the movement. So when we're working with this anchored breath and we're moving in flow with the breath, it's the breath that leads the way. So you connect the hands at the very end of the in-breath and then draw the hands down only after the exhale has begun. So creating this synchronized movement, super still. There's nothing crazy going on here, just simply marrying breath to body awareness. When you get your fingers back to the earth, we're going to do 2 more little rounds. Breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out. And with as much presence as possible, we're going to move over onto our hands and knees. Keep the breath the focus of your attention. And when you land on your hands and knees, palms resting underneath the shoulders, fingers spread as wide as you possibly can. Keep the toes tucked under. So we're going to be moving in and out of a downward facing dog here. Take a breath in. Downward facing dog with bent knees, breath out. Inhale to tabletop. Wait for the in-breath to begin before you start to shift the body. Sink your hips over your heels as you breathe out. Drop your elbows to the floor into a very soft child's pose. So I'm keeping the toes tucked. Hips are just resting over heels, forearms to the earth. In-breath, tabletop. Wait for the exhale and then shift back downward facing dog. Tabletop position in-breath. Wait for the exhale, send yourself back, child's pose. Wait for the in-breath. Rise up, tabletop, moving as slow as you can. The in-breath can be quite long, so you want that small movement to last the whole breath. Exhale, downward facing dog. So you're getting to the peak of your downward facing dog just as you get to the end of the exhale. So we're not stopping and resting in the poses. We're constantly moving just like the breath. Exhale will take you child's pose. Tabletop. Down dog. Keeping the slow movement to marry the breath. One more round, tabletop. Slow, controlled descent of knees to earth. As the exhale begins, child's pose. Inhale, table. Down dog. Walk to the top of your mat as you take a breath in. Forward, forward as you take a breath out. Roll up to standing, inhale. Roll the shoulders back, stand tall, mountain pose. Fingers float to the sky, full length of the inhale. Forward fold as you breathe out. Slow, controlled movement so that as you get to the tip of your fold, in-breath comes, half lift the full length of the in-breath. Trying to create no stillness. We're constantly moving. Downward facing dog, exhale. So if that means you slow down the way your hips fall back into down dog so that you get there right at the end, come forward to the top of your mat, in breath. Forward fold, full length of the exhale. Super, super small movement demands a slow contraction. Roll up through the spine, standing pose, mountain pose, Tadasana. Roll the shoulders back, stand in mountain, exhale. Fingers float to the sky, super slow movement of the arms for the full length of the in-breath. As you're ready to move, wait for the exhale, forward fold. Half lift, in-breath. Downward facing dog, exhale. Top of the mat, breath in. Forward fold, breath out. Roll up, Tadasana, inhale. Stand in mountain pose, exhale. Fingers float to the sky, in breath. Forward fold, out breath. Half lift. Down dog. We're going to stay in your downward facing dog now and just notice the tendency of the mind to be bored. Notice if there is a narrative, a story about wanting the practice to speed up, about there wanting to be more. You said that boredom is a lack of presence, a lack of mindfulness. When you really stay present to the breath that moves through you, the life force that moves through you, there is no space for boredom. To be fully present, to really slow the movement down, to deeply connect with your body, to create as much body awareness as possible, to be fully embodied in the practice. It's such a beautiful way to meditate. Give yourself a big breath in. Let all the breath go. Let's float the right leg to the sky. It needs to last the whole length of the in-breath. Slow leg lift. Tiger curl. Wait for the exhale. On no breath, step the foot between the hands. In breath, crescent lunge. Rise up slowly. Step forward to the top of the mat, Tadasana, exhale. Big breath in. Forward fold, breath out. There is no pausing in the body. Inhale, half lift. Finding a way to constantly move, downward facing dog, exhale. Left leg lifts, super slow in breath. Tiger curl, out breath. On no breath, footsteps between the hands, drive up, crescent lunge, inhale. Step to the top of the mat, exhale. Big breath in, still in the body. Forward fold, exhale. Half lift, scoop up in breath. Keep the chin tucked in so the back of the neck is long. Downward facing dog, exhale. Right leg lifts in breath. Tiger curl, out breath. Crescent lunge in breath. Warrior two, exhale. Reverse the warrior, breath in. We're not staying in the reversed warrior, so keep the practice moving. As the exhale comes, downward facing dog. Need to move a little bit faster through that practice as you take the exhale from the warrior. In breath, left leg lifts. Tiger curl. No breath, step through. In breath, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Reverse the warrior, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Right leg lifts in breath. Tiger curl, exhale. No breath, step through, in breath, crescent. Arms are slowly rising. You get to the peak of the crescent lunge. Exhale comes warrior two. Slow the movement down so you land in warrior two at the end of the out breath. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Exhale, twisted lunge. Left hand will hit the floor on the inside of the right foot. Take a big breath in here. Twist to the right, breath out. We are going to stay still here for 3 breaths. So find power and strength. Really find the integrity and the effort of the pose. Soften the body in all of the strength. And allow the breath to fluidly move through you, even though there's stillness in the body. Your 4th in-breath, the right hand hits the earth really slowly. Downward facing dog, breath out. Left leg lifts in breath. Be present to the practice. Tiger curl, exhale. Wait for the end of the breath. Footsteps through, crescent lunge, in breath. Warrior two, out breath. No pause, reverse the warrior. Exhale, hands to the floor. Big breath in, right hand plugs to the inside of the left foot. Twisted lunge, left hand to sky, breath out. 3 breaths. Fourth breath in, left hand to the floor. Downward facing dog, breath out. Tippy toes, inhale, slow rise. Bend the knees deeply, exhale. No breath, giant step to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Mountain pose, sweep up, spine is straight. Forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, breath in. Downward facing dog. Right leg lifts, slow and present to the breath. Tiger curl. No breath, step through. In breath, rise up, crescent. Warrior two, slow descent into the pose. Making sure something is moving the whole breath. Reverse the warrior, inhale. Straight into your twisted lunge, exhale. So left hand to floor, right hand to sky. In breath, right hand to the floor. Exhale, straighten the front leg. Bend the front knee in breath. Exhale, straighten the front leg. Bend the front knee. Straighten the front knee. Two more of those. Breath in, bend. Breath out, fold. One more time. Bend into the front knee. Big breath in. Take a giant step to the top of the mat. Forward fold, exhale. Roll up through the spine, in breath. Fingers straight to the sky. Forward fold, exhale. Half lift, breath in. Downward facing dog, breath out. Left leg lifts, inhale. Tiger curl. Step through, in breath, crescent lunge. Warrior two. Everything is moving, nothing is still. Reverse the warrior. Straight into twisted lunge, right hand to the earth, left fingertips to sky. Left hand to earth, breath in. Straighten the front leg, breath out. We have 4 of those little flows. In breath, deep bend into the front knee. Out breath, straightening, stretching into the back of the left leg. It's a really small movement, so you really want to slow the movement down to marry the breath. Staying in this intention of flow. Next, breath in, bend. Step forward, breath out. Roll up through the spine, inhale. Need to move a little bit faster to get the arms sweeping up to the sky. Forward fold, exhale. Half lift, breath in. Keeping the body moving, breath out, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts in breath. Tiger curl. There are no pauses in the body. Sweep up, crescent lunge. Warrior two. Even if it's just a finger that sweeps to the end of the breath, reverse the warrior, fingers to sky. Revolve, lunge, left hand to earth, right fingertips lift to sky. Right hand to earth, breath in. Straighten the front leg, breath out. Bend the front knee, breath in. Step to the top of the mat, breath out, fold. Chair pose, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Chair pose, in. Forward fold, out. Into chair. Out to fold. One more time. Breath in. Uttanasana, fold. Half lift. Breath in. Downward facing dog. Breath out. Left leg inhale. Sweeps to the sky. Tiger curl. Crescent lunge. Keep it moving, slow and steady in time with the breath. Warrior two. Reverse the warrior. Lunge, twist, left hand to the sky, right hand to the floor. Left hand to the earth, breath in. Straighten the front leg, exhale, fold. Bend the front knee, breath in. Giant step to the top of the mat, exhale, fold. Chair pose, inhale. Exhale, fold. Chair pose in. It's just a little flow. So you don't need to find perfection in the chair pose. You don't need to find stillness in the chair pose. Just moving in and out fluidly. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. One more time. Halfway lift, breath in. And downward facing dog. Tabletop pose, in breath. Child's pose, out breath. Tabletop in. Downward facing dog, out. Tabletop in. I'm going to do 5 of these. This is the second one. Exhale, child's pose. Rising up, in, table. Down dog. 3 more of those flows in your own time, and I'll hold space in silence. When you've completed those 5 flows, come back to table and then land in a wide-kneed child's pose on the exhale. And we will rest in stillness here, allowing the hips to sink down over the heels, stretching the arms out as far away from you as you can, pinky fingers to the edges of your mat. And allow some space through the shoulders. Bring your chin or forehead down to the floor and give yourself 5 big, beautiful breaths, breathing deeply into the pit of the belly. At the end of those 5 breaths, just slowly rise up and allow your shoulders to stack over your hips, sitting hips over heels. And just noticing the influence of the practice on your mind. For me, there is this deep stillness and deep presence and this beautiful inner clarity. Just really staying with that fluidity of the breath through the movement. The deep concentration that's required to really slow the practice down and the movement down to allow that to happen. I hope in some way you're feeling as blissed out as I am. Beautiful. Let's come back into a downward facing dog. Give yourself 2 big breaths here. On your next breath in, right leg slowly makes its way to 3-legged dog. Tiger curl pulls through center. Foot steps through crescent lunge. Warrior 2, breath out. Reverse the warrior in breath. Twisted lunge, out breath. Hands to earth, in breath. Straighten the front leg, out breath. Turn to face the side of your mat, in breath. Forward fold, wide leg, out breath. Inhale, come to the left foot, top of the mat. Stand straight up into a standing split. Exhale, stay. Stork pose, sweep the right knee into the chest. Aeroplane pose, sweep back, exhale. Crescent lunge, breath in. Downward facing dog, breath out. Left leg lifts, in breath. Tiger curl. Crescent lunge. Warrior 2. Keep the fluidity of the movement. Reverse the warrior. Twisted lunge. Right hand to earth, left hand to the sky. Fingers to the earth, breath in. Fold over the left leg, breath out. Face the side of your mat, breath in, half lift. Wide-legged fold, exhale. To the right, step straight up, standing split. Stay for the breath out. Stork pose, left knee sweeps up, inhale. Aeroplane pose, breath out. Crescent lunge, breath in. Downward facing dog, exhale. Just going to do that little flow one more time each side. Right leg to the sky. Tiger curl. Just watch the tendency of the mind to start to anticipate and move you through faster. Stay with that movement of the breath, carrying the movement. Warrior two. Anticipation and the knowing of what's coming tends to create a bit of speed in the body. Twisted lunge, exhale. The breath is the boss. It's telling us when and how to move. Inhale, hands to earth. Fold over the right leg, breath out. Come to the side of the mat, in breath, half lift. Wide-legged fold, breath out. Over to the left leg, back of the mat, power up, in breath. Standing split. Exhale, hold. Stork pose, right knee sweeps up. Aeroplane pose, sweeps back. Crescent lunge, inhale, touch down. To downward facing dog, exhale. Left leg lifts, in breath. Tiger curl. Crescent lunge in. Warrior two out. Reverse in. Twisted lunge, right hand to earth out, left hand to sky. Hands to the floor, in. Fold over the left leg, out. Turn to the side mat, half lift, breath in. Forward fold, exhale. To the right side, standing split, in breath. Stay for the out breath. Stork pose, drive up, inhale. Aeroplane pose, exhale. Crescent lunge, inhale. And downward facing dog. Tabletop, in breath. Soft child's pose, out breath. Tabletop, in. Down dog, out. Two more times, into table. Down to child's. Into table. Down dog, out. One more time. Walk your hands back to meet your feet at the back of your mat. Take a ragdoll pose. Take a nice big breath in. Let all the breath go. 3 big breaths here. When you finish those 3 breaths, simply drop your hands to the floor, fall down to your knees, sit back, hips over heels, spine erect, shoulders stacked over hips. And give yourself 5 big, beautiful breaths. Beautiful. Let's come over onto your bottom if you're not already there. Stick your legs out in front of you. We'll just come into a really soft seated forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Take your fingers to the sky as you breathe in. Nice big forward fold as you breathe out. Let your hands fall wherever they reach, either to your shins, your ankles, your feet. Allow your chest to really curl so the shoulders really drop down. And then drop the breath down into the belly. Give yourself some nice big full breaths into the belly here. On your next breath in, you'll rise back up into a seat and just notice energetically the downward force of energy that really melts down from the head, neck, shoulders, and buckets down into the pelvis after a nice big forward fold. Energetic influence of those forward folds is this beautiful word langana, which is this downward grounding force of energy. Come and lay flat on your back. Draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a beautiful breath in and out. You're going to come into a reclined butterfly pose. So just take your feet flat onto the floor. Just a little way to open up through the back of the hips here. Drawing your soles of your feet together, knees falling wide. If that's a little uncomfortable for you or a little tight in the hips, you can take some blocks or cushions underneath the back of your thighs and knees and just allow them to be supported in their rest. Take one hand onto the belly, one hand onto the chest. And just notice if in the slowing down of the practice and the stillness of the poses, if it invites more dialogue in the mind, and just keep allowing the mind to be saturated in this beautiful awareness of this life force, this breath that moves through us. Following how the body receives the breath, feeling the belly expand underneath the hand resting on the belly, and the fullness of the breath coming up into the chest, and feeling the chest expand underneath the hand on the chest. And feeling both hands surrender and soften down as the whole torso melts back to the earth. Releasing that, drawing the knees back up, placing the feet flat on the floor, knees up towards the sky. It's keeping the whole spine connected to the floor. Take a breath in and out. Pull the knees into the chest as you take your next in-breath. And as you breathe out, let both of the knees fall to the left, stacking knees on top of one another. Right hand plugs down to the earth, right shoulder is connected to the floor. Take your left hand over the top of your right knee. Anchor yourself down into your twist. Give yourself a big breath. Really staying back in that seat of witness consciousness to watch the mind, to notice its tendencies, to hear its dialogue, to notice if it's excited about the end of the practice and it's starting to think and plan and process and prepare for what's to come. Just keep inviting the mind into still breath awareness, to just be here now. Everything will come when it's ready, but right now you're here in your body, in your breath, on your mat. On an in-breath, you'll come back to the center. Reset the position of your hips and shoulders. Knees into the chest as you breathe in. Knees to the right as you breathe out. And you'll come back to the center on your next breath in. Allowing your legs to fall out into Shavasana. We'll stay here for just a few minutes and then I'll bring you up for a final little meditation. If you're needing any additional movement or stretching before you land here, please go ahead and do that. Whenever you're ready to land in your final resting pose, give yourself a big full breath in. And let the breath go. And surrender now all concentration, all effort in the body and the mind. To just allow everything to calm and rest in stillness. Take a deep breath in. Let the breath escape. Make your way over to your side. And mosey on up into a seat. Find integrity in the spine, spaciousness through the heart, length in the back of the neck, gentle engagement through the belly and pelvic floor. Take a moment to just notice how you're feeling and the impact of your practice on your body, your energy, your mind, your emotional landscape. And take a deep breath in, 6 counts in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue that rhythm, breathing in for 6. And breathing out for 6. In for 6. And out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. 3 more of those breaths in silence. Then give yourself a big breath in. Fill up as much as you possibly can. Open mouth, let all of it go. Bring your hands to your heart. Let a little smile sweep across your face. Hopefully you're feeling really grounded and integrated and calm and still. I definitely am. Take a breath in. Bow your head to your heart as the breath escapes, honoring yourself, your commitment to yourself and to the practice, remembering that you can always find stillness in the anchor of the breath, the present moment awareness that allows you to be here and be here now, the only place you need to be. Namaste.